Right. Being right actually isn't always the most important thing to be. I used to think that it was the only thing to be. Right. And that was great. And believe me, correct answers are wonderful, right? But when it comes to interpersonal relationships, human beings, things of that nature, rightness sometimes leads to self-indignation, righteousness, and this doesn't always lead you to what it is that you're seeking in terms of your relationships. But there are things that you probably can't pass on, or you might need to still work on, and that's all right too, because life is pretty complicated, and that's all right. But being right or being righteous for its sake instead of saying I'm sorry, and then you still can be correct. There are plenty of times where you can let something go. You can find a way to make peace. People can think that they're correct. They can think these other sorts of things. And in a way, you're actually both more victorious because you were strong enough to be aware that that there were other solutions, that your rightness or your righteousness wasn't going to get in the way of actually having something that's really incredible, having something that's really peaceful. So don't let your righteousness get in the way. There are additional tools with rightness, and even when correct, there are soft ways of dealing with things, and there are hard ways of dealing with those same problems. And sometimes you have to use both, and sometimes you have to use one. And that will be a little tricky, figuring out which is the actual correct way in a given relationship, in a given situation, to solve problems. The thing is that sometimes the problems actually, they don't have to do with you. They don't have to do with rightness. They have to do with other people's wants or needs, lack of communication, miscommunication. And that's all right. That's the way life is. But I hope that you searching and seeking and finding other ways of solving a problem other than just I'm correct, I'm right, this is the way it is. Say, well, it's okay, you're correct, you're right, this is the way it is. Or we're right, we're correct, this is the way it is. I'm looking at one side of a coin, you're looking at the other side of the coin. It's still the coin, right? We're both looking at the coin. We're just looking at two different sides of the same coin, right? But it's the coin. And once you have those discoveries, once you're able to use soft, hard, and in the middle sorts of strategy for solving your problems, you won't lose as many people along the way in terms of the things that you had to be right or you had to be correct. And even if you're growing, if you're personally growing, you're probably still going to have some weaknesses in some friendships or relationships. It's a nature of growing. So I wish you the best. I wish you lots of love. And I hope that you solve your problems in many, many ways so that you can really have the best life that you can create for yourself. Luminosity.